Hey y'all, it's your girl Ry
and your girl Mel, and welcome to the
Wild and Untamed podcast. Yes. By the time you're watching this episode, it is going to be the year
2025.
2025. Happy New Year, everybody. So I'm ready for us to get into this episode. So you already know what we gotta start with. What we gotta start with?
Our wild card.
Okay. So the wild card for today is, if you could choose a song to be the theme song for this year, 2024, what would you choose?
I would choose, the theme song for Smallville?
No.
Oh, it's called, for all of y'all in case y'all know,
okay.
It's called Save Me.
Oh, Lord, save me.
Yes. So, that's how they feeling on 2024.
Okay. Save Me. That is an excellent choice. And for me, I would say We Fall Down, but we get up. That, if you guys know that, My Gospel Babies. That's a little Donnie McClurkin. It's called We Fall Down, but we get up. So I will say that is my theme song because I've definitely fell down multiple times. I've done a lot of falling and I've gotten back up and I've made it to this year. So yeah.
That's a good one too, though.
Yeah. Okay. Are you ready to get into this topic?
Yes, I am. Right. For today's topic, it's gonna be resolutions to results.
Yes, resolutions to results. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead and next question.
Okay, so
are we basically talking about goals though?
Yes,
so
basically
results,
goals.
We're definitely going to be talking about goals and consistency. So let's get into these questions.
Yes. Okay, so how do you decide which goals are worth pursuing and which one to let go of?
How do I decide which goals are worth pursuing and which ones to let go of? I think for me, it's determining if the goal is realistic.
Okay, fact.
Okay, so for example, our rappers, you know what I'm saying? I had to take it there. You know how somebody's been wanting to pursue something for so long, and it just isn't happening? I think by the time, like, we should all be able to see the signs, right? So I think for me, it would have to be something that's realistic and that makes sense for me to determine, okay, this is a goal that I'm going to keep going. Now, something that I need to let go is, I will say, is if it's something that I've tried every way to do it, right? I've tried it this way, I've tried it that way. Right. I've tried it a whole bunch of different ways. I've gotten resources and all that. If it still isn't happening, I feel like that must not be for me.
Correct.
So I would say that's kind of how I differentiate it, by if it's realistic, and then if I tried it and it ain't working, I
can agree. I mean, if it's achievable, right? So, like, do you feel like you can achieve the goal within the time frame?
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes when you try and keep trying, and then you realize it ain't really going nowhere. Yeah.
Like, you tried everything, or you get like confirmation that it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Give it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, give it all the way up. It's okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like, sidebar? Do you feel like? Well, go ahead and answer your question first. Answer the question.
You can ask me.
Do you feel like when you make a New Year's resolution or a New Year goal, do you feel like it should be those type of goals that you can complete within that year? Or do you think it can be a goal that's just for life in general, if that makes sense?
Well, I feel like this is where the short-term goals come in the long term, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, if you want to get married, that's going to be a long-term goal.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. This year's going to happen. Okay. If it does, great for you, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that's if you're in a relationship and everything. Ma'am here ain't in one. But,
oh, God.
But the point
let's be clear.
But the point is, like, you have to also be realistic about your goals. Like, can you see yourself doing them? How, are you making the necessary steps to achieve those goals? So I would say placing those short-term goals for the new year can be achievable if you look at everything. If you're breaking down, whether it's finances, planning, dedicating time management too. Time management.
So are you able to differentiate, okay, this is a goal that I can keep, or a goal I need to let go? How are you up when it comes to our first question?
So I actually do time management as well with it. So I give myself a set time, and I'm just like, okay, if I cannot get to this point at this time, then it's not for me.
Okay, so how do you know you're doing it in a time that makes sense? Because some people want to rush their journey.
Correct.
So how do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if you rush it, how you know if it's not God's timing? Like I feel, you see what I'm saying?
So okay, so how can you tell? So that goes to another question.
Yeah,
how can you tell if it's God's timing or not? Yeah. Do you say I'm putting it on hold? But if you put it on hold, then you feel like you're wasting time.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think maybe just praying about it. Mm-hmm. Like some people don't be thinking that God can give signs and stuff like that. I think we have to really just have like a listening ear to it, right? And then also when I tell people, like I tell my clients, listen to your body. If you're doing something, every time that you do that thing, you're starting to feel uneasy. You're starting to feel unconfident, not confident in yourself. You're just starting to fluster or just be confused. I always say, God is not the author of confusion. So if you're, that's like your body is telling you something too. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Girl, but I'm deaf. Clearly, I hear nothing.
Oh God!
I'm just saying because one of my goals for 2025 is I'm gonna make a step, but if it doesn't happen, for me, it's a sign that it ain't for me.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But, it can easily be misconstrued of like, well, is God just telling me that it's not the right time?
Because it could be wrong timing.
Wrong timing. Mm. But when is it right timing?
Yeah.
If I've been trying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So then it goes into that.
It's a real sticky thing.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it just has to be, that's why I say you try everything.
Well, true. Correct.
You see what I'm saying? And I feel like you could also... So saying that you're letting the goal go, I guess the better term would probably be to be like, okay, not right now. Maybe that's how we should look at our goals. Like I don't feel like we should just throw the goals all the way out, but it could just be tucked away into a closet until you feel the signs and stuff. Okay, this needs to happen. And then like what if you had a dream like back when you were in high school, right? But then you've tucked that dream away, you've let that dream go, but then a door opens right then and there. You see what I'm saying? You're giving an opportunity. You're not going to be like, well, I already let that go, so I'm just going to leave it where it's at. No, you're going to go back and be like, you know what? I really, really wanted to do this at one point. And then you're going to pick that goal back up. Does that make sense? So I don't even think we should let goals go. I think, like you said, we should just put it on hold.
Yeah, I think so too. But it doesn't mean that another door cannot open for you for a different path.
For a different path, exactly. Yes. So you think really the issue is when we hold on to a goal and we don't look at nothing else. And
correct.
We're stuck there.
Yes.
I think that's
when you have tunnel vision sometimes. I think you get lost in the sauce, So you kind of are stuck and adamant like, no, this is what I want to be. This is it has to work. But then you're not realizing other paths can open up if you just let go for a little bit.
So how do you feel about people saying you need to have a plan B?
I am one of those. I didn't used to be a plan B person. When I initially started like my journey, I talked about in one of my episodes, like all I thought was I was going to be a doctor. Yeah. There was no way I saw nothing else past a doctor.
You said doctor. That's it.
Doctor. But then you have to be realistic with yourself and be like, okay, I need a plan B.
Yeah.
So I have even spoken to some friends where I was like, realistically, if you tried everything and it's just not happening, you need to be open-minded to other options. Yeah. That you might be really good at and you just don't know. Those skills are going to like come up into the air and then just going to go through and then it's going to be like, oh wow, like I'm really good at this and I like it. Yeah.
I think people look at plan Bs as a bad thing.
Yes.
Plan B does not mean plan bad. Or
like failure.
Yeah, it's like a failure. It's just another option. There could be the same amount of success or same amount of fulfillment. It's just something different that you didn't think could happen.
Correct. I agree.
Okay, so it's my turn. You done with that question?
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm filling my drink. Just so you know, I'm on my second glass.
Y'all should put a quarter in the jar for how many times she says this on the episode.
Because it be hitting me out of nowhere. I'll be tongue-tied and everything. I'm really focusing right now.
Before this time, she was not feeling jacked.
But I didn't eat that much today.
I had a smoothie. Yeah.
Okay. But you're not drinking what I'm drinking, honey boo. We drinking two different things.
Look. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. She said, I got that real drink. You not drinking some champagne. I am drinking XXL. You know what the XXL? You know what the XXL. Okay, back on topic. So the next question says, how do you decide which goals are worth No, we already said that. Okay? Okay, my bad, guys. So how do you use reflection an adjustment to keep your New Year's goals consistent?
I think it's just a reminder. So just telling yourself like, okay, this past year I did this, you know, and it didn't work. So if I want to attempt the same goal, what can I do differently?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you saying, like growing purposes. Like if you say, oh, I really want to commit to volunteering, but you didn't really apply yourself last year. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, I was working too much. So what are you going to do differently this year to actually be an impact? Like if you want to make a difference, you have to put in the time, right? It's kind of like relationships as well.
Yeah.
So I also think about that. Like I reflect back on past relationships that I don't want to go into 2025 with.
Yeah.
So you just have to be consistent and tell yourself, okay, like this didn't work. How strict and disciplined am I going to be this year?
Yeah, I agree with that. I also think, so I have been doing this little activity with my clients. I'm going to bring that up because we have been doing reflections all for the past 2 weeks. So I'm going to bring that up. What I have been asking them is, what do you want to leave in 2024? What do you want to take with you in 2024? So those are like lessons you learned. And then what do you want to gain? Now, after they've answered those questions, I'll ask them, so what are some potential roadblocks as to why you wouldn't, actually do what you say you're going to do. Okay. So roadblocks are kind of like triggers or like a certain thought process that you may have. Certain people, they may come in the way of you actually achieving that thing, right?
Correct.
So I think when it comes to reflecting, you're able to identify like, okay, I know whenever I hear somebody say X, Y, and Z, it makes me not feel either motivated or low self-esteem or things like that, right? So because I know that it's a roadblock for me, I'm going to be more mindful that when that thing does happen in that next year, I'm like, you know what, that's just a little roadblock. I'm going to choose to do this. I'm not going to let it take control and things like that. So I think reflection is a good way to identify roadblocks or identify possible triggers and things that's going to hinder you, because the triggers, you can't control that.
You can't.
But you can identify it and be like, you know what, that's a trigger for me, but I'm going to choose to do something different.
Correct.
I think a lot of times people go through the same cycle is because they're not identifying the things that are causing that cycle to continue.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important reason for reflections, because like you said, you're learning. And you're learning what's going to set you off, what's going to keep you motivated.
Correct.
So you have to know what sets you off or what pushes you back in order to be able to fight it, if that makes sense. So that's how I look at it. And then, of course, you make the adjustments and things like that.
Yeah.
So because I asked my clients on the road, I'm going to ask you, for any goals that you have, what is your, like, main roadblock do you think that you have when it comes to, like, not completing your, New Year's goal? Just in general.
I would say, I think for me it's always been the fact that, like, I want to be at a certain place at a certain time. So when someone tells me, oh, you need to be patient, or
so being patient is your roadblock.
Yes. Or you're in the season. I'm tired of being in the season.
Getting slow already. Like, what's going on?
So it's been like, those for me are kind of like triggers.
Yeah.
Because I'm just kind of like, okay, but I've been able to be better at it. Like, gotten better at it. But in 2025, I want to be even more better at it. Like, not let it get me so frustrated or down that I'm just kind of like, well, I'm tired of being in the same, stuck in the rut type. But I can't see it like that. I have to see it for the optimistic side of things, the bright side.
Okay, good. I think for me, my roadblock is giving up after trying only once. Or like throwing the whole thing out just because it didn't work. Does that make sense? Like, I tried to eat healthy, but that didn't work. I don't want to do that no more. Or I tried to work out at night, but that was making me this. I don't want to do that no more. You see what I'm saying? So after trying and you're not seeing the result that you want right then and there, you just throw the whole goal out the way, out the trash.
Okay.
Or feel like you're not capable of doing that. So I feel like that's my roadblock, and I need to be mindful that I'm making excuses. And to fight that excuse and just try again.
Yes.
So I think that's my roadblock.
Okay.
Good. Y'all know I like to ask cyber questions. But people might need to identify their roadblocks.
No, it's true.
After listening to this. Like, come on now. All right.
Okay.
It's my turn to ask question.
No, it's my turn.
Okay, dang.
Okay, so do you think sharing your goals with others helps you stay accountable or adds pressure?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you in my experience. I feel like it adds pressure to a certain extent because nobody ever really holds me accountable.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So I'll be like, okay, they know that I really want to do this, but they're not holding me accountable at the same time. If I don't do the goal, then they're looking at me like, you ain't do it. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not the type that has ever really just asked for accountability, period. Oh, to be honest.
So we have problems with accountability.
Yeah, basically, in simple words, I do not. It's not that I don't allow people to hold me accountable. I just don't. Well, I don't. Okay, yeah. So I do not allow people to hold me accountable. I don't give people the opportunity to hold me accountable because I don't have to be sharing. I feel like for me, I don't share my goals because if I don't achieve it, then y'all gonna be looking at me crazy, or I'm gonna look like I failed at my goal. Does that make sense? Mm. So I'd rather just have it as an inner goal that I have, or maybe just me and my boyfriend. That's it. But having a lot of people know what I really, really want to do, because I failed multiple times, especially like with losing weight and stuff like that. Well, I'm telling y'all for it because it's been a fail. You know what I'm saying? So if I fail at it again, it's not like she didn't fulfill her goal. So I do probably feel like it more as a pressure, or like people looking, having a possibility to look at you not achieve that goal.
Okay, so what are you gonna do different?
So what am I going to do different? I guess I'm going to allow people to hold me accountable or whatever, but are they going to hold me accountable though?
I've been telling you guys we need to go running.
I don't want to, because, I had the whole ankle thing. Remember my ankle?
You don't got it now.
I don't got it now, but what time I'm going to run?
The new year.
Okay. So she's going to help me be accountable. I really need more accountable with it's not even exercise, it's with the food, girl. The food. You know
I'm not here for that.
I know. So that's how I say it's a me thing. There's no way people can hold me accountable.
I can text you.
I do what I want. That's my problem. Nobody can hold me down.
I can't.
But yes.
Okay.
So this different. You're different. We're gonna be maybe okay. We're gonna do something different. We gotta talk about it.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
What about for you in regards to the question?
Me,
do you feel like it's pressure? Or do you feel like it's motivation for you, or accountability, like telling other people about your New Year's goals and things like that?
When I share it with people, I feel like I myself add pressure to myself because I know the goals that I want to achieve. And when I'm not seeing them being achieved, I think I beat myself up for it. Yeah. Or if I do tell somebody and they're like, well, you said you wanted to do this. And I just be like, 1 second.
Right. I want to hit it.
But I also do like the fact because it is a reminder of like, this is a goal that you say you wanted. Yeah. And you did share it so someone could hold you accountable. Yeah. So they could push you. So I can't be mad at it.
You can't be mad at it?
Can't be
so you usually get mad at it?
I get like irritated.
So if I try to, I think if you may need to just tell people this is what accountability looks like and this is not. You telling me that I told you that it is, and I don't want to hear that.
I always say you just like show it differently. Like if I said I wanted to get abs, go to the gym with me. Don't tell me
or like, hey, did you do your ab exercise?
Yeah.
Okay, try your best to do it tomorrow. Yes. Don't be like, well, I look, I done seen your swimsuit last week, and you ain't had the mask popping. Yeah. I don't need you to tell me that you don't see nothing. You supposed to just be motivating me. Shut up. That is getting on my nerves. I'm sorry, I just got triggered. I'm triggered.
But that's what I mean. I think people just do it wrong.
They don't know how to hold you accountable. Yeah. So maybe when we have these accountability discussions, because we can hold each other accountable. We don't have to have the same goals. Like I can hold you accountable for something, and you can hold me accountable for something. We just have to know what is the best way to hold each other accountable. Like me, I hate when people talk to me like they my parent.
True.
People preach at me.
I'm the same way.
You got your own issues, and I don't preach at you.
Correct.
So don't do it with me.
Yeah, I'm the same way though.
Yeah, so it's just how it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like don't bark at me and like you my principal or something telling me, well, we told you to do this or you need to go do this. Yeah. Don't tell me what to do, boo. Because everything works different for everybody.
It does.
But yeah, we're going to work on it.
We'll be better in 2025.
We'll be better in 2025. YouTube. I need you guys to hold us accountable. YouTube, podcast listeners, people who listen to us on all the things, hold us accountable. Okay, now it's my turn. And then I have a sidebar question that we forgot to add on here. It's probably gonna be one of our untamed Q&As. Okay. But my question to you is, how do you stay motivated when progress feels slow or invisible?
Ooh, I just remind myself to have grace, as we talked about before, because I know I can get real impatient. Yeah. But that's also one thing I'm working on, like I stated before. But I'm also, I guess also because I'm really like, what was the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Like I'm a go-getter, so I'm always like moving and I'm trying to improve it. Yeah, I'm trying to always improve myself or my skills or something. So my thing is just like, when I ain't seeing progress, I'm like, come on, what we doing? What we doing here? But I also have to remind myself, like, it's all part of the process. Yeah. Like, you know, millionaires don't become millionaires in one day. Overnight.
At all, unless they're using their grandpa's money.
Yes, that's correct.
Another story.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a reminder of like recap, I guess reflection, also using reflection, like what happened in 2024, you waited a year, look at all that has happened.
Right. You know? What you didn't do, what you didn't do.
Correct. So
okay, and you did mention earlier before we started the episode, you did mention, you know.
Oh yes,
acknowledging your small wins.
Yes, acknowledging your small wins. Yes. That's something I do love to do. Mm-hmm. Like any little thing that I achieve, I think it's a small win. I think people should celebrate it and acknowledge it, because I know many people that they don't acknowledge their small wins, but they're great wins. Like, you know, like if they be little. Like if you became supervisor, acknowledge that, celebrate it. I know you're not the director, but hey, it's a step forward. Than what you were before. Or if you got a new car, or if you got new shoes or something, like something that you didn't have before that you actually were able to get yourself or able to do for yourself. So I know many people that they want to acknowledge big wins. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you forget about all the other stuff in between. Yeah. I got you.
I also agree with you. The reflection, the realizing your big wins. And I think practicing more gratitude will also help you with that motivation. Because it's like, hey, I'm grateful to be where I'm at right now, because a lot of people aren't even where I'm at currently. Does that make sense? Right. Even if you're a teacher's assistant, or, you know, something that you view, teachers, I know they're good, but, you know, like maybe a teacher's assistant or like assistant to somebody, or just doing like a random job that you feel like is not your career choice, right? I would say be grateful that you're even there, because there's people that's on the street. There's people who's not even able to submit a job application or anything like that, or, you know, have bills to pay. People don't even have bills to pay because they don't have anything. Yeah. Does that make sense? So I think focusing on gratitude, as well as celebrating your small wins and your big wins, and just celebrating yourself for just getting up and trying. Sometimes even if we don't accomplish anything, we still deserve to be celebrated. Correct. And I feel like a lot of times we're always striving to improve something, to something, to accomplish something, to get people's validation, and, you know, things like that. We're always striving for that, rather than just being like, you know what, I'm proud to just be here today.
Yes. And I would say one thing too. I would say don't forget who you are. Like if you've always been kind, you should also like celebrate your kindness and your thoughtfulness. You know, just because we had bad experiences doesn't mean that you should change who you are, because that's a great quality of you. Yeah. And that's something that, you know, you were born with. And that's something to be proud of. Even if people think either you're a simp or you like a pushover, like to say don't mistake kindness for weakness, right?
Exactly.
But I would say, you know, allow yourself to also appreciate what you bring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some cool beans right there, girl. That's some really cool beans. And also, there was something else that popped in my head while you were talking, but it left. So it's gonna have to be probably shown in a different episode. But yes, that's a really good. Just celebrate being yourself. Oh, I was gonna say that a lot of times people don't feel like they're valuable unless they're doing something for somebody.
That is correct.
Or reaching a goal that they can show off. You are perfectly imperfect, but you are perfect just the way you are. You deserve to be celebrated with just what you're doing right now, which is living, being kind, being confident, being a servitude person, whoever you are, whatever values, just all your good characteristics or adjectives, things like that. You deserve to be celebrated just because of that. And all the things that you accomplish are just additional. That just adds to you. But Correct. You right now, whatever journey that you are in, you're worth being celebrated. So
yeah. I remember I heard somebody say, "Oh, my wife is such a giver." Okay, and that's who she is. That's a good thing. Right, that's a good thing. It may be annoying to you, but you married her for a reason.
Yeah, because you giving to you, honey.
Yeah,
giving you everything at night, during the daytime, in the car, at the movie.
I cannot.
I'm not saying what you think I'm saying. I can be talking about checking it out. If you get to that, then you get that.
I'm just saying. If she's such a noble person,
yeah, she's a nice servitude person. Yes. Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's probably why you fell in love with her.
Yeah,
and you just gotta love her for that. And just be happy for her, celebrate her for who she
is. We gotta celebrate each other more. Let's live in happiness. I'm tired of being salty all the time. For real.
It's too much.
It's too much. Give me a cheers to 2025. Just right now. Boing. I hope you guys heard that. That sound effect that I made. Okay, so now it is time for our Untamed Q&A. So you go, you ask the question.
My bad. Yeah. All right. What's an expression of love you're trying to get better at?
An expression of love that I'm trying to get better at, I feel like I want to be better at showing my love to everybody. I'm not an affectionate person. I cringe when people try to hug me that is not my boyfriend, or I don't know. That's really it. I don't really do a lot of hugs. No. I don't do a lot. It don't feel weird with you.
No, I'm about to say, I was like, I hug you all the time.
Not really though. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just trying to think.
So I cringe with affection from people, physical touch from people makes me like this. It feels uncomfortable. Even my parents or my sisters. I feel like I reject it. My body rejects it. And I don't say I love you to people all the time. I'll say love you, but that I part is a very, very hard thing to get out of my mouth. So
I get that.
Yeah. So I struggle with just being fully affectionate and showing my softer side to people. I think because of my life experiences of having to, be in charge or lead, I feel like my affectionate side wasn't nurtured that much. So I just don't do it. It feels uncomfortable to me.
Okay.
It takes a while for me to be super, super affectionate. Unless I'm just in a good mood, or I feel like I can trust you with that. So that's what I say. I feel like I can trust you with that.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I can trust a lot of people with that at all.
Okay.
So they see my fun, giggly side, but my softer, sad side, when I'm annoyed, when I'm crying and stuff like that, very, very few people see that. It would be 2 people.
Yeah.
You and probably 3 people. My other best friend, you, and my boyfriend. That's it. They'll see that vulnerable side.
Yeah.
So what about you?
I would say vulnerability, which comes hand in hand with affection, I guess. But you just turn up. I thought I was getting better at it.
What made you think you was getting better at
it? So I got better with communication, right? Actually expressing my wants and needs. Yeah. But then I realized that letting people in is still has been very hard.
Okay.
So I get the whole I love you part, because I'll say I love you. My sister always tells me love you, and I'd be like, love you, but I never say the I love you part. And when my mom tries to kiss me, I'm like, stop, what's wrong with you? But obviously from my significant other, I don't mind that.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, so I just feel like the whole crying thing is also a thing. I still feel to this day, I hate to cry in front of people. I don't care what anybody says. It's just too much. I feel like you're giving power to another individual of just knowing your soft spots.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's been a little bit hard now. And I think I realized that because when I was dealing with somebody, I was just I still did not want them to see my vulnerability side.
Yeah, it takes a long time.
A long time. Like, I had to fully trust you.
Yeah, I think we struggle, especially with our families, because we feel like they see us a specific way. Right? I feel like my family sees it in a specific way. I just interacted with them in a specific way that me being soft and crying is not going to be taken as like, oh my God, let's make her feel better. It's more like a girl, get over. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. No, it's
girl,
true.
get over it. It's not even that serious type of, like, that's how they approach it. But someone being like more empathetic, like it's gonna be okay, like giving you a hug, you feel safer to show those type of emotions. But if you feel like you're gonna get like it is not that serious, you know, type of vibe where there's no reaction at all to actually make you feel better, then you're like, okay, why am I even showing you this type of emotion? But with a partner or with a boyfriend or something like that, you're like, okay, they literally signed up for this.
Hug me.
So they gonna make sure you feel better because they want you to feel better. They don't want you to be sad. Like, they take on that role of helping you. Like, that's literally their role.
Yeah.
The other members and friends and stuff like that, they might not feel like they have that role, or it's just not how your relationship with them was built in the first place.
True, and I can agree with that. I know from my end, like, because the way I am and carry myself, you know, my family's kind of like, why are you crying?
Yeah, like, it's weird to them.
Yeah,
like, but we allowed it to be weird because we just wasn't like that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm a sensitive jelly bean, bro. Like,
but they don't see us like that.
But so I'm just kind of like,
we didn't show that growing up.
Yeah. So
now that us crying is like, what's wrong with
her? Like, get over it.
Yeah, like, why are you crying? What?
Yeah. So.
But we gonna work on it.
Yeah, we should work on it.
We're going to work on it. And then this question I just literally added into our thing as she was talking earlier is, what are some of our goals, our New Year's resolutions for this podcast?
Oh, for the podcast.
We got to put this out there, yes. I'm not sharing my personal stuff. Everybody don't know that.
Oh, yeah. I haven't done my vision board yet.
We'll talk about it over time, I'm sure, like what our goals are. Yeah. But we'll find out the right time to say that. But as far as like our goals for this podcast, what are you thinking? So
I know that I want to bring more guests. So hopefully, like, move out of this room to a bigger space. Yes. I also would like for us to go ahead and do some merchandise.
Okay, period. We're gonna get that ready for you guys. Yeah. Okay.
At least to whoever like actually wants some pieces.
Who actually wants to support us. Yeah.
So I think that would be really great, and actually working a little bit of PR because I know we are slacking.
We trying, y'all. All I can
do is hard.
With our busy schedules, cause I do, you know, I be posting, trying to make the videos, and that's not stuff I normally do.
Yeah.
So
I'm not consistent much when it comes to like sharing and stuff.
You gotta
I know.
Just put it out there. You gotta be proud and confident.
Yeah.
You know?
So I need to get better at that.
Okay. I think for me, my goal is for us to have more guests.
Yes.
Get more views and downloads and things like that. Post more on social media. Like, really try to tone in on what our niche is. Like, who are we really catering to? What type of things? We do want to talk about just generally everything, but you know, just how to spice it up and still be ourselves while also being women of corporate America, because that's what we are. We have careers and stuff that we are working towards and working on, so we don't want to ever have this podcast affect any of that. So it's like kind of trying to find a balance, because we can get spicier, we can get a little wild with how we talking things. It's just trying to find that balance to where we can still be professionals and people still see the podcast and not be like,
borderline or threshold.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's our goal, and you know, just to grow and be consistent with it.
Correct.
Yeah. So those are my goals. If you guys have any goals that you want to share in the comments, I guess I'll show one goal. So we can just share one personal goal.
Okay.
One that we're willing to share. I think my goal is to learn how to be productive without getting burnt out. So not thinking that just because I can, like, you know, being able to handle all my responsibilities gracefully and not get to the point where I'm just going to get burnt out. Because it is capable for me to handle everything without getting burnt out. Yeah. I just got to figure out the tools and things and schedulings and mechanisms I need to be able to hit all my goals without having to get burnt out or get overly stimulated and stressed.
Yeah.
What about you?
I want to learn how to sew.
Okay, so what makes you think of that?
I've been wanting to for a while, but you know, time management. So the fact that you gotta buy a sewing machine,
correct,
and then you gotta go and take classes for
correct.
it.
I know somebody that's doing the 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
There's a 6-week class.
Oh, you need to send me the link. Okay.
Clients, I gotta see.
Oh,
I gotta ask him when the next time I see him.
But I've really been wanting to because there's a lot of like, I have to like tailor a lot of my clothes. So
yeah,
it's like it's good to know how to at least sew.
You can save some money.
Save some money.
Correct.
And I think and another one, I want to be able to learn how to do my nails. So I think I'm gonna purchase. I think I'm gonna commit.
Okay.
Oh God, that's so hard
to
to
do
me.
the acrylic yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna commit. I don't know. I haven't committed.
Just try it out. Because it do save money over time.
I know.
I've been doing press-on nails, guys. Ignore my thumbs. I broke them not because they didn't stick. Because you can literally see the bottoms. I broke them because they're long. And I do a lot of things with my thumbs. So I have learned that I need to just do medium or short.
Oh,
when it comes to press-ons. Like this long stuff. It's
not
not good for how I live my life, functionality. Like even opening my energy drinks broke. Like really, just the end, like the end part. Come on now.
Okay, that's good though. At least you know.
Yeah, so we're learning what our roadblocks are.
Yes.
And we're delving into our new things.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything you want to add to our lovely people?
I think that's all.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in all of this year. You know, we are almost a year into doing this podcast, girl.
I know.
We are almost into a whole year. I think we started in February or like the first week of March.
Yeah.
So we're 2 months away from our year anniversary. So we're going to definitely have to celebrate the small win.
Yeah, we are.
Of us keeping pushing, even though we had to go through transitions, changing locations, and making things work, bad camera quality and all that, y'all. We know. We ain't got it. We know what the fuck going on. But anywho, thank you so much for you guys that have been consistent and, ride or dies with us. And we just going to keep this thing going. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. Besos.